Hi Chewies, here's Alexandra, and today I want to show you how to paint the Crimson Fists Space Marine. I was a little bit testing around and, well, this was a little result and I want to go even further with that. So now let's take our model. I will use here a Snap Fit Space Marine, and here's the sprue. And I've already created a nice base for him. I take a 20mm round base and added some shale to it with super glue and a little bit of, here you see the white with modeling putty to get it a better grip. And now, yeah, that's a nice base. And first thing to do, let's out here. Way. Let's clip out the marine. Which one should we take? I'd say this one here with a pulled down bolter, a little bit more agile, I would say. So just clip it out. Also, the backpack. Ta-da! And one of the bolters, they're equal, so it doesn't matter which one. Clip and clip. So, all the parts we have. Now it's time for cleaning up all the mold lines. And here these things here that are called the bridge, where the miniature is attached to the sprue, and also those we need to get rid of. And here this here is, for example, a mold line. So to get rid of this you need a hobby knife, and there are basically two ways. First way is by scratching over the surface slightly, very slightly, until the mold line is gone. You can go over it with a nail and then you feel if the mold line is still there or not. So, and here the gates or bridges we need to erase, and here is very important the handling of the hobby knife. So don't make this will cut right into your thumb. You don't want this. So press this hobby knife firmly against your thumb, like this, and bow your thumb backwards. And then you can cut and cut and cut without cutting yourself, because your thumb is holding this hobby knife in a safe position. Very important. So I will finish up a cleaning process and I'll be back in a second. Okay, the miniature is cleaned, built together and glued to the base. The next step that I will do is priming him. I will prime him now with a colored spray primer from the Army Painter, and to be exact, I will prime him with navy blue. And I'll be back when he is primed. There I am back, and now it is time to give him a little bit shadow. For that instance I use a mixture out of barred up black wash and a Suman blue wash. So this is a darker blue. The ratio is roughly between 3 to 1 blue to black. So just simply paint all over it. We want nice dark recess areas and a rich blue tone for the whole model. So don't be shy with the wash. Just go over it. So I will leave that now to dry and be for you right back in a second. And now you see the ink is all dried and he is ready for the next step. What I will do now is use my handy dandy little airbrush, and like always you ask before you watch the movie, I show it again. This is my Paintix 200. This is my airbrush. So if I catch someone asking what kind of airbrush I'm using, you will be stoned directly. No, just kidding. So what I will do now, I use this blue tone here. This is a mixture of my own, and well, honestly, I can't even tell anymore what kind of colors are in there, but it is something similar to a shadow gray, space wolf gray mix, a little bit of ultramarine blue, just a bright blue tone. So if you find something similar to that, take this. So you can see how I pour it in my trusty little airbrush. And what I will do now is first test spray a little bit. Yeah, fine. And now we will spray this Space Marine in a 45-degree angle. Hit this very slightly to highlight him. Very nice and smooth. More at the shoulder pads. Yeah. Okay, a little bit more at the arm here. Oh, that's good. Okay, now I will mix into this color some white, just Vallejo Model Air White. To brighten things up, I'll mix it directly in my airbrush. So get a nice bright tone, like that. Then I will add a little bit more water to it. 2 drops should do. So, like that. And then again, test spray until the new color is out there. See, it's still dark blue. Now it brightens up. Okay. Now for the final highlights. Here at the shoulder pad. Down here the legs. Top of the backpack. Okay, I think I'll see a little bit on the knee pad maybe, like that. Yeah, I think that is good. So I will clean now my airbrush and be right back in a second. Now it's time for a little bit dry sponging. And let's mix up some color for that. Here you see a little bit of scorched brown, and I will add now some chaos black to it. So around that much, just mixing both together. So that leaves us with a very nice dark brown tone. And we are using for that now a sponge, just a simple blister sponge. Take a little bit of it Then we need a paper towel. So what you do now is you dip in the sponge into the color, and then wipe off most of the excess from the sponge on the paper towel, and then we will go ahead and dip in some damages on the armor. Not too much, but here and there a little bit. So like that. Bigger, some smaller. So, okay. I think that's enough. Another one. Okay. Now we're finished. So, now we need to highlight those spots. And for that instance, we will use Space Wolf Gray. Color, it's a little bit watery, so shake up the pot quite a bit. Let's try this again. Much better. Okay. There we go. And what I will do now is I will highlight this. Way so my focus is not damaged. Okay. Zoom in. And again, what I will do now is highlight around the edges from this bigger scratches in the armor we just recently painted. Like that. You see? This process might take a while because, well, there are quite a lot, but it will be nice in the end. So for the smaller ones, you simply need to make a little bit like that. That's enough. For the really small ones, like that, and you don't need to make every single one, just some. Okay, I will finish this up now and I'll be back in a second. So tubies, the Space Marine looks like that after the treatment, and now we will do something very strange. I use pigments. This here, this is from Vallejo Pigments Burnt Umber, and I will just add some alcohol to it. So, like that. And now I will go over it, over the entire Space Marine. And I might hear in the background several of you scream, "No! You're destroying your work! Don't do this! This looks ugly!" Trust me on that. Just simply trust me on that. Just give the entire model a wash of this pigment alcohol mixture. I'm using alcohol instead of water because of two reasons. First, the surface tension. Alcohol has a different surface tension than water. And secondly, it dries faster. So, and what I will do now clean off with a little bit of water and a paper towel. The eyes again. I don't want to have too many pigments there. And for that I'm using a very old brush, so nothing special. So here's a little bit too much. This fence, I don't want also to have this pigment there. Okay. The folder case, don't need that stuff either. To get a different treatment. Okay, that's enough. I will leave this to dry now. Be right back. Okay, the messiness has dried now, and now let's go to improve the look. The next thing I will use is here a makeup applicator, and I will remove most of this pigments again. I will use a makeup applicator because, well, if you use a Q-tip or a paper towel, you would, well, end up with some hairs and stuff on this miniature, and you don't want this. So I'm wettening this thing and then wipe it off on a paper towel so that it is just moist and not wet anymore. What I will do now is remove slightly this messy job and showing again the blue of the armor. But I won't remove everything. I will let this rusty stuff be in the cracks and crevices. So, and what we will end up with is a miniature that is very much dirted up. So sometimes you have to clean this thing again, so just simply wash it out and dab it on the paper towel again, and then go on with the job. So at the feet I want to have a little bit more left. Then on the rest of the body. So for example, there I don't not able to get in there, so I will just simply take a brush, also moist, and do the same with the brush, just simply removing most of the stuff in the inside here. So also here where I can't get in with a makeup applicator to the pure Alkila on the chest, so I want to have that clean also. So back to the applicator. Like that. So, and I think that is a very good looking Crimson Fist Marine, very dirty. Now let's go for the final details and finishing up this miniature. Be right back. Now the metal parts of this miniature are covered in a 50-50 mix of bolt-con metal and tin bits. So this miniature is nice and battle torn, and we don't want to have then shiny, bright metal parts. They should also be beaten up and used. So now there's little rivets here. So also on some of the big scratches I will now also dab in some of the metal. Like that. Like the paint has chipped totally off of there. And there's fresh metal under it. So, well, I will go ahead and finish the metal details and be right back. Now I will go for the bolter case and the one hand for the crimson fist that is in crimson. For that I will use now a 50-50 mix, not 50-50, it's a darkened down version of Macrite Red. So I use Macrite Red with some black in it. So it's a nice dark red tone with the ability to cover good over everything. So just cover up the bolter case in the hand. Be right back. Okay, you can see that I have went ahead and painted also the eyes in this red. What I will do now is cover the bolter case and the metal parts in barred up black ink. To give it a nice shading and dark color. Okay. Also, you can see I have drilled out the bolter, the barrel of the gun. So, okay. And you guys might excuse me now while I'm letting this dry. I'll look up what kind of color Crimson Fists have for their chest eagle. So, be right back. It turns out that the chest eagle is also metal for the Crimson Fists, and so I will also paint the chest eagle in the bolt gun metal tin bits mixture. And after that I will give it also a wash of barred up black. Also, what I found out is that the bolter case is black for the Crimson Fists, but I will use now here the special skill called Artistic Freedom to let him red. Okay. That were the eagle. So what I will do now is make a preparation for the base, and for that where is my one? Let's take this one. So I will paint the base now in Codex Gray. I want this area to be, well, like a sandstone in the end. And for that I need a gray base. see, it's watered down the paint, so I can get in the cracks and crevices very easy. That's the main thing. The blue shines through the shield still, but that will go away after some dry brushing and layering over it with pigments, so don't worry about that. Leave the worrying up to me. So I will let that dry now, and again, I will see you in a second. Battery of the camera recharged, SD card emptied, and it's time to go on with the paint job. So where we last left off, we're with the base. So now I will dry brush the surface with a lighter gray, and for that I mix a 50-50 variant of Codex Gray and bleached bone. So there we have it. Wipe off the brush a little bit on a paper towel, and then I'll slightly go over the surface with the brush. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Dum-de-dum-dum. Do-de-do-de-dum. Dum-de-dum-de-dum-dum-dum. De-dum-de-dum. Dum-de-dum-de-dum-dum-de-dum-de-dum. So, now let's mix in a little bit of white into the paint and make it even brighter. Wipe off the brush again, and okay, there we go. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Now that that is done, I think we will go for the eyes now. So, like I said, I've previously painted the eyes in my dark red tone, and now I will go ahead with a 50-50 mix of scab red and blood red for the eye socket. So zoom in. There we go. And now I paint 2/3 of the eye from the front to almost the end, like that. Turn it around to have a better grip on the other side. And also I was asked for paint jobs with the eyes, how to get a steady hand. So I will zoom out a little bit to show you my hand holding here. So the secret is to place the hands directly on the table, so that you don't have shaky hands in the air. That's number one. Then hold your miniature with your miniature holding device, like my cork here, and then you place your other hand on the first hand, on the holding hand, and then you support your hands with each other, so you don't have such a shaky hands. So if you would do that this way, both hands in the air, it's absolutely obvious that your hand will shake. So stabilize your hands with each other on the table, and you don't have such a shaky hand anymore. So let's get back to the eyes. And now that this is done, I will take pure blood red. So palette, get a nice edge. That's okay. So now I will paint 2/3 of the eye, starting from the front to the middle, like that. Same on the other side. So yeah, that's good. Now I will go for an orange, a bright orange. I take now a golden yellow. I'll show you this better on the palette. So golden some yellow. There we go. And now I take a tiny little bit of the blood red and mix it in. You see that's a very dramatic change to orange, even by such a small amount of paint. So, and with this orange, I will go now and paint in the front corner of the eye. Tiny little dot of this orange. Oh, that was too less. There we go. See? Same on the other side. Like that. Okay. And now we need a tiny little white dot on the end. And here I'll show you something again. So I always put on my paint on the palette, and then if you want to have a really nice edge here, I have this little lid, and with that I can create a very nice pointy edge for my brush. So, and now I will paint a very tiny little white dot in the back corner of the eye. Like that. See? Same again on the other side. Ta-da! And the eyes are done. So, what is now left to do? I think I need to work a little bit more on the bolter. So I take just the crimson gold blood red mixture again, and I will paint over the surface to highlight it. Like that. Also the hand. Partly going over it. Front part. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Okay. Let that dry and be right back in a second. Okay, there I'm back. Now I can go over the bolter part with a 50-50, not 50-50, with a 2-to-1 mix of blood red and scab red to give it even more highlight. So, just like that. Okay. Now I will take pure blood red for the last highlights. And always keep a little bit of the old color behind so that you get a nice color transition. But you all know the game. So, okay. But now this gun looks a little bit too clean in my eyes. So I will go ahead and take something of my pigments here. Still this burnt umber. So, and I also will go over the red with that mixture. And immediately going over it with a watered brush like that. See? To wash off the pigments from the main part and to leave the pigments in the in the cracks and crevices. So, and I think this marine is almost done. Now let's have a look at the base. There we will also work a little bit with the pigments. So let's take them and go over the base with it. Just simply paint it on. So, and I want a little bit more coloration and variant in the base, so I will go ahead and use some other pigments here, like this orangey tones here. This is the pigments I use is dark red ochre, also from Vallejo. Here and there. And then I will also add, where we have it, ochre jaune. So wipe off the brush and taking pigments directly with a brush and placing them here and there. Okay, now comes the messy part. I'll take my water pot and then wash off most of these pigments again. Why am I doing this? Because I want to give out and relieve the already painted gray and bleached bone dry brushing surface, so that I get a nice, well, like a sand rock finish. Now this mess needs to dry now, and I'll be back. Yes. Okay, while the base is still drying, you can see here how the effect starts to look. I will go ahead and grab my trusty little Space Marine transfer sheet, and I will have a look at the Crimson Fists batch here, and I will cut out now the decal, and I only want the fist. I don't want the circle around it, so I will simply cut it as close as possible to the icon. Very slowly cutting around it. The more close you are to the symbol itself, the better the outcome will be. So then I take just a drop of water and place the decal in. So while this is setting, I also cut out now the tactical marine arrow here. So put it in there, and also when you look closely, you can see here that this border is a little bit more thick than the symbol itself. So try to cut as close as possible to the symbol. Because the less surface you have, the less will be the warping of the water transfer in the end. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Cutting, cutting. La, 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 la. And my neighbors are still making noise in the background. What a pity. So here, one there, very gently. Okay. Now let's place it also in the water. And okay, now the other one should have set. Yeah, it is loose. So I'll go ahead now and get it with my brush and place it on the shoulder pad. Go on. So there we go. Wipe off the excess water with the brush. Okay, and it is a little bit warping, but that's okay. That's okay. So now, yeah, the other one is also set already. So let's just grab it and place it on the shoulder pad, just like that. So what I will use now is this stuff here, Microsol setting solution for decals. This is a weak acid, and it will soften the decal and rounding it to the surface. So just dab it on and it will work its magic and soften the decal, and placing it directly nicely on the surface, and keep in mind to place the decal on the right spot. So this needs to dry now, at least half an hour, and then I will show you how to blend this in, because they look a little bit too clean on this model. Be right back. The next thing that I will do is go over the decals with matte varnish, because to get rid of the glancing effect. And the second thing is the varnish helps the decal to stay in place. So just paint it over it, and paint it also a little bit over the edges of the decal so it can stay in place. And again, this needs to dry now. Be right back. To really blend this in, I need my little trusty dry sponge again from the beginning, and also the black brown mixture, and I'm simply dabbing on some extra dark dots over this, just like that. Okay, better. So now I will just take again a little bit of the pigments here and going over it. Like that, and also again a little bit with a wet brush going over it very gently. To remove most of it, but leave a little bit on the surface so that it is well seen there, that there are pigments. And voila, it is blended in, and the miniature is finished now. I will clean up the base now, paint the corner in black, and I'll show you the end result. There we have him now in his full glory. A completely battle-torn and weathered Crimson Fist Space Marine. If you want to have a different tutorial, then I would suggest you go to Fish, the expert of the Crimson Fist sector. He will show you how to paint in the normal way with well, a dark blue color with edge highlighting, or you should go to Lass's videos on how to paint space marines with an airbrush, like for example the ultramarine tutorial, if you want something similar like that. I hope you liked this tutorial here, and I will claim this now as one of the world's best painted snap fit space marines. So if you want to challenge me, then well, you maybe want to make a painting tutorial for my contest, the 7,000 subscribers painting tutorial contest, and challenge me with painting your own version of the world's best painted snap fit space marine. Show me what you can do. Until then, I say bye. Until the next video. Your Alexandra.